automatically it's associated with, oh, there's an issue with you, oh, you have a problem. It's not something normalized. It's not something that So hello my lovelies, how are you? If you're new here, my name is Melanie. I try to post once a week at least. My channel is about self-development, becoming your best self, handling your finances like a boss ass, you know what? And sometimes I do ASMR, sometimes I do home decor videos, and much more. So if you guys like any of that content, please subscribe. The next video after this will be my home update. I basically finished my room. You guys will see an update on that. And before this, I have a vlog. I might talk about the clothing challenge, and I also talk about Insecure and the updates on Insecure. So if you want to watch that, definitely click on that. And let's get into this video. So if you're here today, you're probably considering therapy, and I have some information for you, but this information might not be the right information for you. So if it's not, then cool. If it is, then I'm glad it helps you in any way. I'll start off with why I went to therapy. I went to therapy because I had some trauma, like anyone else has trauma in their life, that started to affect my life, my everyday life. And I realized about a year and a half ago that that wasn't the route that I wanted to be in. And I wanted to be able to take control of all aspects of my life, and that the things I was doing to cope weren't working. I went to therapy probably in November of last year, and I went about 5 months. And the only reason I had to stop was because I was pretty much working every day, and I wasn't able to take days off. Before that, I was working part-time, and I didn't really have to take the days off. Therapist is a white male. I purposely did that because I wanted someone who was unbiased about my thoughts, my culture, my opinion. I just felt like if I was going to have someone that I was going to confide in about things, I wanted it from a different perspective, because thankfully I already have friends that I confide in that have my perspective, and I wanted something different. I wanted to see things in a different light. You know, for a lot of people though, therapy for them is more about confiding in someone that they feel some similarities to. I know a friend of mine who actually goes to a POC therapist, and he really likes her. I've watched from other videos as well that it is much easier to get a therapist if they are connected to someone you know. So definitely ask people around. But I think therapy is still a taboo, still something that a lot of people don't like talking about, because automatically it's associated with, oh, there's an issue with you, oh, you have a problem. It's not something normalized. It's not something that is seen as everyone should be doing it because everyone has some trauma or some issue that they need to resolve. And I truly believe that the world would be a better place if people just would go to therapy, honestly. So my sessions are about 45 minutes. I forgot. I know Evelyn from the internet said the name of the therapy session, but I basically do the same thing. It's basically a talking session. I talk about my week. I talk about things that are coming up. Lately, it's been more work focused. My therapist made a note of that as well. Basically about talking about things that bother you, and eventually it's also finding solutions to those problems as they come up and how to handle certain situations. And honestly, I've been going for about 3 months now, and it's super duper helpful. It's super duper worth it. I do not pay for therapy. My insurance pays for my therapy. However, if I would have to pay for therapy, I would make the space in my budget to pay for it, because that's how important I think it is. But I do know know, the therapy sessions can go anywhere from $125 to $200 or so. Some people do sliding scales, which means that they go based on what you can afford. It's also nice. Now the gunky hard stuff nobody wants to talk about. I have cried in therapy, been frustrated in therapy. I have been quiet sometimes. It's really about processing your thoughts, processing your week. I do go on a weekly basis, and honestly, I honestly look forward to it. I will say that in the beginning, when I first started, it was much harder for me to open up about stuff because this was a new experience and I wasn't sure how I would react and go along with it. As I got more involved, comfortable, believe it or not, there's also similarity between his experience and my experience, and what I personally like about my therapist is that he also relate in a way where it makes more sense to me. It's kind of almost like ensuring me that he also understands, because he's gone through some of these things. That you're not the only one experiencing things like this. Sometimes I just spill out stuff for 45 minutes. Sometimes we have different dialogues. Sometimes I'm just quiet for a bit. A lot of the time why I go is because I want to be preventative. I don't want things to bother me when people say the wrong thing, or when my boss is being an ass, or when I'm having a bad day. I want things to be preventative. I want to have things in place when these things come up, so that I'm not in a place of annoyance, not making my life a living hell, and I can figure out how to help myself, how to help the situation. And I think that's the whole point of therapy, is like, you want to be preventative. You want to make sure that you have things in place when these things come up, because I've had weeks where things are okay, everything is fine, and then it only takes that one day to ruin the rest of the week. When you do techniques to help yourself through those tough times, through those times where you might still have to be at work, or you might still have to travel or whatever, but you still have those feelings, the whole point is to kind of figure out how to deal with those feelings. So some tip on just in general, be consistent. You have to go. Like, I know it's easier said than done, but if you want to better yourself, if you want to better your relationship, not only with yourself but the outside world, the things that you cannot change, you have to go. I don't really do this one as much, but you have to do the technique. You have to make the techniques a habit. Again, you know, it's trying to be preventative. And the last thing is that I know for some people, I'm very grateful that I found someone pretty much offhand, but I know for some people it takes longer and it's super annoying to be comfortable with talking to someone about the stuff that the you know, gunky, ugly stuff that you don't want to talk about. Of course, you have to be 110% comfortable talking about it with that person. So stay the course. Ask friends, ask references, do consultations, see what you like. Maybe even make a list of the things that you're looking for. For me, it's really just someone who wasn't biased, someone who would give me a different perspective, which I definitely think in some ways he does challenge my thoughts, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. Also, someone that just can't relate. But again, those were just my overviews of what I wanted. It's different for everyone, so having a list of what you want is super duper important, especially if you're spending money on this, so make the right choices. But yeah, do not be intimidated. It is worthwhile, trust me. It is worth every penny. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Adios.